Hello there, dear viewer. Today I'm going to be focusing on a Blu-ray label that I haven't actually mentioned on the channel before. The label in question is Picturehouse Entertainment. I have a stack of films that I'm going to talk about today, including their latest one, R.M.N. from director Cristian Mungiu. If you're not familiar with Picturehouse, they're actually a cinema chain here in the UK, but they happen to release some of their films on Blu-ray, with a real focus on modern world cinema and shining a light on some of the greatest films that have come out in the last few years. So hopefully this will give you some recommendations for things to watch in the near future. If you want to check these films out, I'll include some links in the description of this video of places where you can find these. Now let's just get straight into the films. As mentioned, I've got R.M.N. from director Cristian Mungiu. This is a Romanian film. Cristian Mungiu, a very famous director in world cinema, having won the Palme d'Or at Cannes Film Festival with his film 4 Months, 3 Weeks and 2 Days, as well as making a whole load of other films that are really, truly great, like Beyond the Hills and Graduation, just to name a few. All of those 3 films I just mentioned are in the Criterion Collection, so perhaps regular viewers of this channel may already be familiar with the filmmaker. His latest film is set in a remote Transylvanian town, looking at this community that is very tightly woven together. Everyone knows each other here, they're very traditional in terms of their values in life. And the main character that we follow here is on the run, because he was working in Germany in a meat factory and he has a dispute with his boss at the start of the film and assaults him. So he flees, comes back to his hometown where he tries to rekindle this relationship with his child and the child's mother, as well as this new woman who he is interested in. In the background of this storyline, there's also the arrival of 3 Sri Lankan immigrants in the community, because in the local bread factory, none of the local workers want to work for those wages. So these immigrants come in, they do the job, you know, they're perfectly nice people, but the community is so traditional in their values that they really do not like these new people. So with all of that put together, here we have a story about reconnecting with family and people from our past, and also dealing with the consequences of fleeing from our own actions, as well as looking at social issues such as ignorance in a community where people hold, nationalist beliefs and really don't like anyone coming in from the outside. I think this is a fantastic film, one that I'm going to be revisiting again and again over the years. So I'm very glad to have it on this Blu-ray from Picturehouse Entertainment. That said, there are a couple of gripes with this Blu-ray. The first one being that there are no special features whatsoever. So you're just getting the film when you buy this Blu-ray. I would have loved to seen some extra material here. I know because this is a brand new film, obviously there's not going to be lots of recorded discussions and such, but it would have been great to see perhaps a video essay on here, or an interview with someone involved with the film, or some kind of extra just looking at the themes within the film and how relevant they are, not just to Romania, but to, everywhere in the world. And beyond that, there's also some issues with the picture in terms of when the scenes are very dark, because in the final act of this film, a lot of it is set at night. And in those darker sequences, you can see compression artifacts and macro blocking in the image. So in that regard, the disc hasn't been perhaps as mastered as well as it could have been. So a fantastic film here. Perhaps the disc leaves a bit to be desired, but I imagine this will be one of the only ways that people can see this at the moment. So I fully recommend this film. One of Picturehouse's releases from last year is The 8 Mountains, the film from Felix van Groningen and Charlotte van der Meers. This is a wonderful film set amongst the Italian Alps, as we begin the film following these 2 young boys as they get to know each other, and we don't just stick with them as boys, we follow them throughout the following decades, and it's great to see how this relationship, this friendship really evolves. The film really is one of the best depictions of true friendship that I have seen in the longest time. And friendship is complicated. Your very close friends are people that you often have arguments with, and you don't always see eye to eye on things because you aren't the exact same people. And here the 2 boys, or the 2 men, are different people from different sort of backgrounds, but past all the differences, they have such a strong connection and a strong bond. As well as being a great intimate portrait of friendship, it's also a beautiful film to look at. The locations in this film are absolutely immense. It's shot in a more square aspect ratio, so it really does have a very unique feel to the film, and I think it's just beautiful to look at. This is definitely one of the best films that I've seen from last year, and I'm very glad to have it now in my collection. There is one special feature on this disc. There's a making of featurette, which is actually quite good, hearing the filmmakers talk about how they made the film together. So a highly recommended film from me, The Eight Mountains. Now for a special film, another one that I absolutely loved. It's the film Broker from Hirokazu Koreeda, the Japanese director, one of my favourite modern directors working today. Here he's making a film in South Korea with a South Korean cast. And we've seen Koreeda experimenting in different places over the past few years. After his film Shoplifters won the Palme d'Or at Cannes Film Festival, he went to work in France on the film The Truth with Catherine Deneuve and Juliette Binoche, and Ethan Hawke was in that film as well, and I loved that film. Very underrated in my opinion. And in Broker he teams up with one of my favourite actors from South Korea, Song Kang-ho. As always with Koreeda, this is a film about family, not just biological family, but often families of people that are flung together, or that come together out of unexpected circumstances. In the story, we follow these two guys who run this adoption service, which is not totally legal. They are left this baby in the middle of the night, who they take for themselves to try and sell on to a prospective parent. But the mother of the baby comes back in the picture and ends up going on this journey with these two men. All the while they are being trailed by people who are investigating these two men because of what they're up to and are looking to get them in trouble. So this is a bit of a road movie. It's also a bit of a cat and mouse chase movie. It's wonderfully directed by Koreeda. All of the performances are brilliant. It has a lot of the same themes that we've seen in his older films. So if you like any of them, I think this is one that you will definitely enjoy. This is listed as a special edition from Picturehouse, so it comes with a slipcover, which you can take off like this, and there are a bunch of special features on the disc, including making of featurettes and interviews with the people involved. So another one to add to my Koreeda collection. I have almost all of his films now, and I'm very glad to have one more in the collection. Now for another fantastic film, it's the film Scrapper. This is a British film, directorial debut from Charlotte Regan, where we follow this 12-year-old girl who is going through a period of grief after her mother dies suddenly, and she is left to fend for herself in this council flat, when all of a sudden her dad, who hasn't been in the picture her whole life, just appears out of nowhere and wants to reconnect with her. I saw a review online that described this as the Florida Project meets Aftersun, and that is kind of quite an apt description of this film and the themes that are within it. It really is a wonderful film. Lola Campbell is great as the 12-year-old girl, as is Harris Dickinson, who we've seen in Triangle of Sadness. He's great as the father as well. So a highly recommended film from me if you can get your hands on it. On the Picturehouse Blu-ray, there are some special features as well. There's a behind-the-scenes featurette and some interviews with the cast and crew. Next up, I have the film Hit the Road from director Pana Panahi. This is the first film from Panahi, who is the son of famed Iranian director Jafar Panahi. And seemingly following in his father's footsteps, he is a great filmmaker. This is a wonderful film to start your career off with. In Hit the Road, we follow this family who are on this journey. It's another road movie, as you would guess from the title. There's a mother, a father, two sons, and their pet dog. And they're on the road, and at the start of the film, we don't really know why they are. And it very quickly emerges that they are running from something. We don't know what, we don't know for what reason, but as the film progresses, more and more is revealed. The reason this is such a wonderful film is it has a real sense of family. You know, these feel like real people. There is a sense of wit and comedy amongst these characters, particularly the young boy. He's very funny to watch. And the thing that sticks in my mind about this film are the tender scenes between these family members, and particularly the character of the mother, who is very clearly holding back her emotions. And there are periods where the emotions, they break and they come through. So it really shows the struggle beneath the surface in her character. And it's a great performance, as are the rest of them in this film. So another modern film that gets my recommendation wholeheartedly. The Picturehouse Blu-ray has no special features, unfortunately, so you're just getting the film, but the film is just absolutely wonderful. So please do check this one out. And then let's talk about War Pony. This is the directorial debut from Riley Keough and Gina Gamel. This is an American film following this 23-year-old guy and this 12-year-old boy who are both trying to escape from their situations in life. The 23-year-old just wants to make money and get out of the kind of place that he's in. And the 12-year-old boy, he just wants to get out of there and become an adult. Because, you know, he's dealing with very adult things such as drugs. So these two characters are trying to get somewhere in life, but as we know, things do not always go to plan. And in this film, things actually go very badly. And in that, there is the drama, there is the suspense. And I think it's a wonderful film. Seeing that the film was directed by Riley Keough, I was very intrigued because I've always liked her performances in independent films. And you can tell that she has kind of absorbed that spirit in working on films like Zola and American Honey. So yeah, another great modern discovery for me on this Picturehouse Blu-ray. Again, no special features, which is a bit of a disappointment, but hey, I'm glad to have the film in my collection. So that was 6 recommendations of films that have been released by Picturehouse in the UK, including R.M.N, the brand new film from Cristian Mungiu. If you want to check out this film or any of the others, then I'll include some links in the description of this video. If you'd like some more film recommendations from me, then just click the video that's presented on screen right now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.